Welcome back, everybody. How you guys doing today? It's a little different video than what I normally do. As collectors, we probably all have different things that we collect. For the most part, I collect comic books, but I do enjoy some other things. I've done a video on some of the things that I do collect, so you might know a little bit about what I'm going to show. But I'm a big video game guy. About 6-7 years ago, I really got into retro video gaming. And the first thing that I got was the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, this is complete in the box, the action set. If you can see this right here, it's pretty cool. I bought it off of eBay, and it came from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I know it's really hard to see this receipt, but this is the layaway receipt from when it was first purchased from Rose's Store Incorporated, and it was purchased by Mary C. Harris. It's got her address, her phone number. It's hard to make out, but if anybody knows Mary Harris from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, tell her I said thank you. That I used that for quite some time. It still works, there's nothing wrong with it. But eventually I wanted to upgrade. And what I got was this right here. It's not in the box right now, but this is the Gamers Tech 8-bit HD video game system. This plays all your Nintendo games in HD, so you can play it on your HD television. The only thing bad about this is you do have to adjust your settings to 4:3, and some televisions do not adjust to 4:3. So if you have a TV that doesn't adjust to 4:3, you probably wouldn't want this, but this is really cool. I can play all my games in HD. The console, super small console, fits like in the palm of your hand basically. Just big enough. It is top loader. You can take it like this, and you just put your game in it like that. Boom. Got a port for the controllers. It plays the old regular Nintendo controllers, and the controllers that it came with are pretty cool. They just look like a regular Nintendo controller with the Super NES round style, Plays all the games just like normal. Power cord's cool. It has a little basic phone charger, super small. Love it, man. That is one of the coolest things I bought. You can go online. I bought this brand new for $30. If you're looking to get an old Nintendo system to play your games, this thing is really, really cool, man. $30, brand new. The Nintendo was the first one I bought because it's the first system I had as a kid. I have so many memories as a kid playing these games, hanging out with my cousins playing these games. But I'll show you some of the games that I have. I went back. I pretty much have every NES Nintendo game that I wanted to get. So I didn't want every game for this system. I just went back and got the ones that I really, really wanted and remember playing. Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, classic, man. I got Super Mario Brothers 2. I got Super Mario Brothers 3. Kings of the Beach. This came with the original Nintendo system when I bought it. Pretty cool little volleyball game. Maniac Mansion. This is like a point and click game, but still pretty darn cool. It's fun. I'd never beat it. I suck at it, but it's still fun. Gauntlet. This is the 10-game Gauntlet. Gauntlet is one of my favorite series ever. Gauntlet 2. I have just about every Gauntlet game they ever made. I think I'm missing the one for the Sega Genesis or something like that. Adventures of Bayou Billy. I loved this game as a kid, and then so I bought this one, right, to play it again. And it's not as good as I remember. It's really kind of difficult. Can't ever get past the first level. Gyromite. This game is a game that you need Rob the Robot to play. But the cool thing about it, well, not this one, but some Gyromites have, if you open this, they have the Famicom to NES converter in there, so you can play the Famicom games in your regular Nintendo. I bought this one hoping it would have that converter in there, but it didn't, so. Conquest of the Crystal Palace. It's a cool game, really fun. I suck at it. I haven't gotten very far. Still fun nonetheless, though. Cool little game. A classic, Paperboy. Love this game. I mean, you probably know this game, so there's probably not a lot to say, but sometimes I just like to sit down and have a little bit of fun and play some Paperboy. RC Pro-Am. I loved this game as a kid. I thought it was like the coolest game ever, right? So I go back, I get it now, and it's not as memorable as it was as a kid, but it's still a good game to have, for the memories at least. Bases Loaded. This was my game as a kid. I loved this game so much. Got it, here again when I started collecting again, and I play it from time to time, but it's funny how things that you're playing when you're like 4 and 5 that seem so amazing, and you get them years later, they're just not quite the same, but still put it in once in a while to play. Astyanax. What's funny is a lot of people love this game, and I watch people play it online, and they get basically all the way through the game. I can't even get past the first level, so I find it a little difficult. Joust. This game was a game that I used to watch, like my cousins and my dad and my aunts and uncles play when I was a kid. So I got it, and I don't even know what you're supposed to do. I just die. That's about it. But most of these games I buy for the memories. Got a lot of memories with a lot of these games. Super Dodgeball. Dude, this game is amazing. I love this game. It's really fun. Great game to play. I don't know. I can't say a whole lot more about it other than if you're a Nintendo fan, you have a Nintendo, you don't have this game, or are looking for something to get, I recommend trying that one. I think it's really cool. Dragon Warrior. This is the first game in the Dragon Quest series. Of course, when they brought it out here in America, they changed the name from Dragon Warrior to Dragon Quest. But it's still part of the series. It's a fun game. As far as an RPG, it is a little difficult. Once you figure out what you're supposed to do, there's a lot to it, but it's still fun. Then we have Xanadu. I believe the name of this game is actually supposed to be Xanadu, and the FA part comes from it being a Famicom game, so they threw the FA on there, and it became Xanadu. I think it's really supposed to be Xanadu, but it's a cool little game. It's not quite an RPG game, but it's similar in style. Now this game, oh my gosh. I used to play this game with my cousin when I was a kid, and as a kid I thought it was like cool, right? Like, thought it was a great game. I got it. Years later got it, put it in, and this game is terrible, I think. I mean, it's cool, the music's alright, the graphics are good, but gameplay is hard, and it's not very forgiving. So, now this game is like a lot of my comic books. A little beat up, a lot of character. It's called Life Force. I don't know if you can tell that's what game it is. It's a shooter, what I consider a shooter, where you're like flying around in a plane, like in space shooting stuff. Fun. I like those games. Next we have Gunsmoke. This is a great game. You're a little cowboy walking around shooting stuff, and the music is amazing, I think, especially for an 8-bit Nintendo game. Gameplay is fun. I didn't ever have this as a kid, and I just kind of picked this one up when I got back into collecting, but definitely glad that I have that one. It is a fun game. From there we got Chippendale Rescue Rangers. It's a pretty good game. What's funny is it's not very hard, but when I first got it, I had a lot of trouble with it. I've almost beaten it, not quite, but I've gotten to the end. It's cool, fun little game. Next we have Star Tropics. It's a cool little like RPG game. You like running around with a yo-yo, beating up stuff. I'd say it's probably similar to like a Legend of Zelda style game, but fun, pretty darn fun. Now with this game, when you bought it brand new, it came with like this piece of paper inside of the box. And you're supposed to get the piece of paper wet, and it would tell you a message, because there's a spot in the game that you have to know this certain code for. and you were supposed to have that piece of paper. I do not have that, but you can find the code and thing online. Neat little fact, I guess. Next we have Clash at Demon Head. This is a cool game. It's got like a lot of levels. You beat a level and it's got like a little map. You can choose where to go next. Pretty fun. I haven't ever beat it. I've gotten a ways into it, but just never get all the way through it. But similarities is probably more like a platforming game. I wouldn't say it's similar to Mega Man, but kind of that style. Next up, we have Blaster Master. This game I didn't know anything about, and one of my favorite YouTube channels is called Retro Liberty. They have now gone on to become Pixel Game Squad. Always talked about this. This was Aaron, one of the guys from the show, his favorite game. He used to always talk about, and saw them playing it a lot, so I picked it up. It's fun. I don't know really what you can compare it to, but it is really cool. Then we have Dr. Mario. This is a classic, similar to Tetris, you know, but you're using like medicine pills and stuff like that, trying to line them up like Tetris. Really fun. When I'm just kind of sitting there relaxing, trying to find something to play that doesn't take a whole lot of like brain power, I guess, this is a good one. Next, this might be my favorite game, maybe even of all time, but we have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I love this game. I play this game a lot still to this day. I've never beat it. I've never even gotten to Mike Tyson, to be honest with you. But it's just fun, a lot of fun. I can get through most of the guys pretty quickly, but it's like when you get to Soda Popinski, that's when I have a lot of trouble. So good game though. Love that one. This same thing with this. One of my favorites. We have Batman, 8-bit purple Batman. This is a great game. The game and the people you're fighting, the villains, stuff like that, they're not really from the Batman world. The last character is the Joker, though. You do have to fight the Joker. I've never made it to him either, but I like that game a lot. It's fun. It's like a platforming game, similar, I guess, to like Mega Man-ish, Metroid maybe, something like that. Speaking of which, we have Metroid. First Metroid. This is the yellow labeled. I think this one is a little more harder to come by than the regular version. I might have that backwards, but I think this is the one that's harder to come by. Either way, still a good game. Love Metroid. Next we have Kirby's Adventure. This is a good game. It's not hard, but it is fun. A little platformer. You know, you're Kirby, you suck up all the bad guys, and you like take their powers and all that stuff. Really fun. Lots of levels. But it's pretty cool. Next we have Ghosts and Goblins. This game is... It's not bad, but it's hard. Really hard. There's a lot going on. A lot of people trying to attack you and kill you. And it's just difficult, for me at least. And, you know, I don't play it very often, but I do once in a while. Next up we have DuckTales. One of my favorite games all time, honestly. A great game. Cool platformer. I have beaten this one. It took me a little while. I sat down for like a week straight and just kept playing it and playing it and playing it, and I finally beat it. They did re-release this later on, I think, for the Nintendo, what was it, for the Wii U? For the Wii U, the PlayStation 3, and the Xbox 360 or something like that. I've beaten it for the PlayStation 3 as well. The game is a little different. I honestly prefer this one, the original, better than that, just because the new one's got a lot of like talking and I don't know, it's more drawn out in comparison to this game, but fun. Next up, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now this game is different. It's like a overhead view and you're running through the sewers collecting things. As a kid, I would always play the arcade game, right? And then, you know, I rented this one, and I was like, what is going on? This is not the same game. This one is not as fun. But that's what this one is for. This is the arcade game, and this game is a classic. I love this game. One of my all-time favorites. Can't say enough good things about it. It's just, you know, like a beat-em-up kind of game. If you haven't played it, highly recommend this one. This game right here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. It's basically the same game as this arcade game, just with it like different level skins and things like that, different characters. Still good. This is a great game also. If you like the old school arcade style beat 'em up games, and you haven't played this one, highly recommend it. It's awesome. Next up, we have Double Dragon, the original Double Dragon. This is like an arcade style game too. It's only a one player game though, where the Ninja Turtle games are multiple players. The music in this game, to me, is very memorable. Some of the most iconic video game music ever. There's songs on here that I hear and I'm just like, oh man, that takes me back. But love this game. I think it's great. Next up, we have Contra. This is the original Contra. Awesome game. I have beaten this, but I did beat it with the 99 lives codes, which, if you don't know, it's like up, up, down, down, left, right, start, select, or something like that. If you're trying to figure it out, you can look online. It's pretty easy to come by. But that was how I beaten this. It's a good game, really good game. I'm not the most inept at video games, so I usually don't beat too many of them, but you know, with that code, I did beat this one. And I mean, if you can't tell, like, the guy's on the cover, totally supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo. What's his name? Rocky. You know that guy? Yeah, Stallone. That guy. Next up, another one of my favorites all time, Legend of Zelda. These are kind of like my style of games. This isn't quite an RPG, but it's right up there, getting close to it. Adventure, you know, kind of style games. Love these. I haven't beaten this one either, but I've gotten pretty far into it. Now, as good as that game is, I mean, you get Zelda 2, right? And this game is going to be even better, right? No, I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask. I do know people who really enjoy this game. I'm not one of them. I can't. This game I can't handle. What are you gonna do, right? Now we have this. May be my favorite series of all time. We have Castlevania. This one actually belonged to Glenn Allen. I don't know who that is. I bought it off eBay. But this is a great game. I love this game so much. Awesome. If you haven't played it, this is a good one to check out. And then this is kind of like that whole Zelda thing. You got the first one, which is awesome. Then they come out with the second one, Simon's Quest, and it's not as good. The biggest thing with this game is when they converted it over from the Famicom to the Nintendo. There was a lot of mess ups in the translation. So like you go up to a character and they tell you to do something, but it doesn't make sense. The translation was messed up really bad in this game, and it's really hard to play because you get a lot of bad advice that doesn't make any sense. So you can find websites online that will go through and give you the proper translation if you want to go back and try to play it, but it really makes it difficult to play because of the bad translation on it. Now, this might be my favorite game in the Castlevania series. It's up there. There's really a lot of good Castlevania games, to be honest with you. This is Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Man, Super Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo is an awesome game, and so is Symphony of the Night. Those are some awesome games, man. And but I think this one's right up there with it. It's hard. It might be a notch below it. Definitely my favorite original Nintendo Castlevania. Maybe one of my favorites. I mean, it's hard to say. Symphony of the Night and Super Castlevania 4 are great games, and this one's right there with it. And next we have Mega Man 2. These games rock. Like, well, no pun intended, but if you don't know, in Japan, for the Famicom, Mega Man is called Rockman. I grew up on these games. Me and my cousin used to sit and play these games all night long. The series it's still going now to this day, and we spent a lot of time playing the Super Nintendo ones, the Mega Man X series, but Mega Man 2 is a great game, action platformer. A lot of people love Mega Man 2, say they think it's the best one in the series. It's possible. These games are great. It's very possible that that's the best Mega Man game in the series. Mega Man 3 is great too. It's tough. It's tough to say which one would be better. Mega Man 2, I mean, there's a lot of Mega Man games. Mega Man, I think they're all pretty darn good. Difficulty ramps up a little bit in Mega Man 3. Music's probably not as good in Mega Man 3 as Mega Man 2. A lot of people think Mega Man 2's soundtrack is the best. Mega Man 3 has a great soundtrack too. It's basically the same game, just different villains you're fighting, which is nothing wrong with that. Next I have Mega Man 4. Another great game. This one actually, I really enjoy this one. It's hard to say. It could be my favorite. I love them all. I could play them all. Not a whole lot more to say, right? Mega Man. Then we have Mega Man 6. This is a great game too, I think. Great game. This might be my favorite. I think this is possibly my favorite of the Mega Man series. I enjoy the music. I enjoy the villains. I have not beaten this one, though the difficulty is a little bit tougher, I think. But these are probably my favorite video game series of all time. Got Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, great game too. Mega Man 4, another great game, and then Mega Man 6, another great game. Well, I say this might be my favorite video game series, but then I look over and I have this. Final Fantasy, the original. This is complete in box. My box is not in good shape, but you know, I don't care about condition. I never have. If you've watched my channel at all by now, you should probably know that I enjoy things like this character, you know. I don't have a problem with it. I don't need the fancy perfection, you know. But this is probably the only Final Fantasy game I have beaten. It's a great game. Might be my favorite Final Fantasy game. And I know Final Fantasy 7 is awesome. Final Fantasy 10 is good. But, yeah, it's Final Fantasy 6 for Super NES. Well, we got it as Final Fantasy 3, but it was really Final Fantasy 6. And the same thing with Final Fantasy 2 was really Final Fantasy 5, I believe. But yeah, great series. This is my favorite video game series. This is my favorite video game maybe of all time right here. I've beaten this one, and that was really cool. If you like RPGs, I'm sure you know what Final Fantasy is. It's a great game. You know what's funny is this game was done by Square. They called it Final Fantasy because they were about to close their doors, and this was going to be the last game they were going to make, so they were like, oh, we'll just call it the Final Fantasy. And this game right here saved them, saved the company, and now they're one of the best, well-known video game companies there is. And it's crazy. One game like this could save a company and make it one of the most dominant game manufacturers that there is. They're still putting out great games. They just did Kingdom Hearts 3, which is another one that I've really been wanting to get into, and I haven't had the chance to yet. So I know that this was a little different than my comic books that I usually talk about, but I thought that I would switch it up a little bit. I really love video games, and I know a lot of you people out there really love video games too. So I'm hoping that, you know, you guys will enjoy this as well. And if you don't, then maybe I won't do another one. But if you guys watch this, if you enjoy it, let me know, and maybe I will do another one, because I have a whole lot more video games here. I was thinking I could start with Nintendo, work my way up from the original Nintendo to, you know, the Nintendo Wii. Then I could go to Sony and do the PlayStation or Sega Genesis or the Xbox and all those good things. But either way, I do hope you enjoy this. Hope you have a wonderful day. And if you've made it through this video to this point, I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you all and hope you all have a great and amazing day. Talk to you later. Bye.